Going everyone, this is Proudlock, and it is the player ratings from that absolute pathetic performance from Newcastle United yesterday, particularly in that second half. New season, but the same old problems are still here at this moment of time at this football club. And if we don't change anything, it's just going to be a long, hard season. It really, really was. I was delighted to get back into that stadium, back the lads. But no. First half, okay, we did well. We took the lead very early on into the game through Callum Wilson. We did concede a very poor equaliser, which was checked by VAR at first for a potential offside, but the ball was in the back and already crossed the line when Bowen managed to tuck that away. So that's why that equaliser was given. But we go straight back in front just before half-time through Jacob Murphy. It's a decent header, but a lot of people are wondering how that still ended up in the back of the net. And you're thinking, all right, half-time, we're 2-1 up into the game. So far, so good. Second half, same old Bruce's garbage half-time team talk arrives, and the whole thing completely changes, and we absolutely go to bits in the second half completely. Defensively, we were all over the place in that second half. The defence needs to be questioned about that. You've also got to question you-know-who as well. What was his half-time team talk? Well, I think we all know what his half-time team talk is. It's just set back and let's let the opposition counter-attack us. And that is exactly what they did, and we got what we deserved in that second half completely. I mean, the second goal from West Ham is preventable. The marking is absolutely dreadful. Cross in the box from Antonio. Who is marking Ben Rama? My word. Concede a penalty. Jacob Murphy. All right, there's still a little bit of controversy whether this was a penalty or not. I personally think it is a penalty, but a lot of people said it's not. But still, would it have changed the game? Not really, because again, we were absolutely abysmal in that second half. Mikel Antonio steps up and takes the penalty. It's saved by Freddie Woodman. But the defence slow to react, and there's Souček just to put West Ham in front 3-2. And then the fourth goal for West Ham is just, my word, the way they just counter-attack all the way up the pitch. And there's Antonio, and he just aims for the far corner, and Freddie Woodman has no chance of saving that as well. Freddie Woodman, it was his first start in the Premier League for us. His distribution wasn't great, but he was not helped by some pathetic defence right in front of him yesterday. That was the main issue, and we lost the game 4-2. I'm glad Joe Willock is going to be involved for next week against Villa, because we're going to need him, but the defence needs sorting out as well. I think one of them should be taken out, possibly two, you could say, as well, need to be taken out of that start lineup that started yesterday. So there you are. But anyway, I'm going to get into my player ratings now. Starting off in goal, Freddie Woodman. As I mentioned, first start in the Premier League, distribution not great at all, but again, he was not helped by some useless defending right in front of him, must say. He did well to save the penalty, I must say, because it was an awful penalty from West Ham. But again, it's the defending, and it allowed West Ham to get a rebound onto it and put that in. So, yeah. So I'm going to give Freddie Woodman a 5, because he couldn't have done out about the goals. It was right in front of them. That was the massive letdown. So that is why Freddie Woodman gets a 5. Going to go into the 3 centre-backs, and my word, what an absolute shambles this was. Starting off with Emil Krafth at right centre-back. The guy is an absolute load of tosh. Why did he get involved? Why did he was in the start lineup yesterday? I would like to know why. Is it because he was playing all right towards the end of last season? Absolute rubbish. The bloke has been a load of rubbish for a long time now. That was a player, to me, that we should have got rid of once the last season ended. But no, we decided to keep him on and see what he does. The bloke's been garbage for a very long time now. And yesterday you could see on that football pitch why Emil Krafth is just simply abysmal at this football club. So he gets a 1. In the middle of the three centre-backs, and that was Federico Fernandez, given the captain's armband. He was the better out of the three of them. But again, it just wasn't good enough yesterday, I must say. Again, the whole defence got torn to bits. It really, really was. So he was getting a lot of rubbish thrown onto him, and it was just rubbing off him as well. So, yeah, so I'm going to give Federico Fernandez a 3, so because he was the better of the three, but still, it just wasn't great. Left-hand side of the centre-backs, Kieran Clark, and very, very awful once again it was. I think the bloke's gone backwards by the looks of it. He really, really has. He lost his place in that centre-back role a lot towards the end of last season. What has happened? What has happened to Kieran Clark? Because I certainly do rate the lad. But it looks like he's gone completely backwards at this moment of time. I must say it was awful. A lot of his clearances were going out for throw-ins a lot of the time. And it was just absolutely dreadful. So Kieran Clark, he gets a 1 as well. Wing-back positions, right-hand side, Jacob Murphy. Give away the penalty, which was clumsy. Scored a goal, did well. But, yeah, it was pretty decent, I must say, from Jacob Murphy. It was just the penalty that he gave away must have let himself down, but he did well to score the goal, I must say, with his header. So there you are. So I'm going to give Jacob Murphy a 6. Left-hand side of the wing-backs, that was Matt Ritchie. Now, people were saying he was the worst player yesterday. Sorry, but I totally disagree with that. As much as people want to say it. He was not the worst player on that pitch. I could think of more players who were worse on the pitch than him yesterday. Really, really was. Crossed at the box, did well for Jacob Murphy. It was all right. It wasn't a great performance, but he certainly was not the worst player on the pitch. Absolutely no chance he wasn't at all. Matt Ritchie gets a 5. Centre midfield roles. First of all, John Joe Shelvey, and that was an absolute load of tosh from him yesterday. You're thinking, all right, the Norwich game in the friendly, when he did well and come on and changed the game, you're thinking, right, maybe this is time for Shelvey to try and prove himself since the fans are back into the stadiums now. And look how wrong I was. Really, really was. Because the bloke is completely and utterly finished. That was another player who we should have got rid of at the end of last season. His time's done. What was some of the passing? He was just passing backwards a lot of the time, and it was just absolutely what the hell. And that is why he was definitely one of the worst players yesterday, Shelvey, and he also needs to be taken out that start lineup for tomorrow. And I would throw Joe Willock in there straight away. My word, Shelvey, he gets a 1. Next player in the centre midfield roles, and that was Isaac Hayden, and he did well. He did pretty well. I must say, you can tell he was being a big miss since he was out injured. He really, really has been a big miss. So, and you can tell why he is important to this side as well. Did well, I must say, Hayden. So I'm going to give Hayden a 6. Next player in the centre midfield roles, and that was Miggy. It's not his great position, but I didn't think he was too bad yesterday, I must say. Hit the bar from that deflected chance. But the question, he could have took that a heck of a lot sooner if he just didn't take so many touches a lot of the time, which can be a thing. And he's having to go backwards, sideways a lot, Miggy. You can tell it's just not his position, playing in centre midfield role. It just really, really is a big, because it's Steve Bruce's why he's playing him there. That is the thing. So, Miggy, I'm going to give him a 5. And now the attacking two up front. First of all, ASM did very well yesterday. It's still that frustration where he holds on the ball too long. He did for Wilson's first goal, but he did manage to get the cross in the end for Wilson to get his header onto it. But, yeah, I mean, I thought what I didn't understand is why he was so back deep a lot of the time, because no one else could give an absolute flying toss about doing their job in that role as well. So that is why ESM had to come dropping deep a lot of the time, which I just could not understand away. But ESM did very well yesterday, I must say, so I'm going to give him a 7. And the last player up front, and that was Callum Wilson. very well. Took his goal, headed goal brilliantly, and he should not have been taken off the pitch. Took our best player off the pitch, and then you're thinking, well, the game's done and dusted. When he came off, you can tell he didn't want to come off. The way he was walking around the Gallagher, even I could see by his face he did not want to be taken off yesterday. And that is what Steve Bruce decided to do, because he's just too stubborn and thinking, oh, I need to get some fresh legs on. So I'm going to take me the best striker off and put Joe Linton on instead. And you're thinking, nah, game's done and dusted. But Callum Wilson did well, so he gets a 7 from me as well. Now into the substitutions. First of all, Ryan Fraser. Didn't do a lot, I must say, when he came on. He had a chance, which was just wide, but that was it. So didn't do a lot, so I'm going to give Ryan Fraser a 5. And the other 2 substitutions, and that was Joe Linton and Sean Longstaff. And they weren't on for very long, so I'm not going to mark them. Now I'm going to go into that useless manager against Steve Bruce, and he gets a 1. Steve Bruce gets a 1 because what's he telling those defenders out on the pitch? What's his half-time team talk a lot of the time? The attacking lineup was fine, but the midfield, the defence particularly, was all wrong. It was completely all wrong indeed. So that is why Steve Bruce, he gets a 1 from me from yesterday's game. So let me know down in the comments section, as always, do you agree with the ratings that I've gone with? If you were to change any of them, let me know as always, and why. Make sure tonight, 8 o'clock on the Toon Review YouTube channel, it is the 4 Horsemen of the Toon. We'll be having plenty to talk about there, so do keep an eye out. Well, that coming out tonight. So thank you for watching. Of course, don't forget to give this video a like. Please drop your comments in as well. Of course, if you haven't checked me out before, please do hit that subscribe button. The subscribers are really starting to come up after yesterday's videos. So thank you very much for those of you who did subscribe yesterday. Really, really appreciate it massively. And I shall see us all here. Take care. Well, what a start to the season. Absolutely bollocks.